Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Juliana Spies. I'm a real estate agent in Tampa, Florida, and today I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how I budget my paychecks as a real estate agent and my payday routine and all of that good stuff. So let's get straight into it. So for my payday routine, I usually do about 3 check-ins a month. At the beginning of the month, I will prepare my budget for that month. Towards the middle of the month or any kind of closings that I have throughout the month, I'll go in and update my spreadsheet and everything, and then at the end of the month I will finalize all the numbers and see how I performed as far as did I stay under budget, did I go over budget, and that kind of stuff. Also, for my finances or my real estate business finances, I use this combination of a spreadsheet that I got from Etsy. I'll link it below. It's intended for personal finances, but I tweaked it in a way that it works fine for me and all of my budgets. And I also use QuickBooks to track my mileage as a real estate agent, which is really important. Track my expenses for tax purposes, reports, and for payroll, because I mentioned in one of my recent videos, I'll link it on the screen here, that I am a W-2 employee of my real estate business LLC. So I am on payroll and I have to, have that set up. So I use QuickBooks for that. For my March budget, I had only 1 closing, so I want to share with you exactly how that paycheck was broken down so you understand how I, take that amount and budget it. So on my screen here, you can see my commission statement for that 1 closing I had in March, and you can see that the sales price here was just under $754,000, and the gross commission for this property, for this deal, was 3% gross commission. In case you're new and you don't really understand how this works, in a real estate deal, there is typically about being offered a total of like 6% commission or 5% commission, depending. In this case, it was a total of 6% commission, and that commission is split between 2 parts. It's split between the selling agent and the buyer's agent. In this case, this was a new construction property. The seller's agent, in this case, was like the builder's agent, took home 3%, and then us, the buyer's agent, took 3%. Now, in this specific deal, I did have a partner, which is something I've never done before, but in this deal, I specifically partnered up with an agent on my team. So this 3% commission you see here was split between 2 agents. And that's, again, not very typical, but I wanted to preface by saying that so that all the numbers make sense. Here is the total gross commission is just under $23,000, which is amazing. But again, I had to split that with my partner on this deal. This amount split with the other agent, I got just under $12,000, but that is without my broker splits. So when you are a sales associate and you are working under a broker, you have the split. You have a agreement with that broker on what your split is going to be. Some brokerages offer like a cap, a split system, or there's different kind of ways. But after my split with Align Real Estate, which is my brokerage, you can see that it was a total of $9,041.66. However, to that, I have to subtract my TC fee. So a transaction coordinator fee is someone, or a transaction coordinator is someone that is there to assist you with everything related to communication with all parties in the transaction, the documents, and all of the things. They are a lifesaver when it comes to being able to handle multiple deals at once. So for this deal, I always work with a TC. For this deal, we partnered with my partner's preferred TC, so we split that cost. So I ended up paying $200 out of my gross commission here to that TC, and that ended up leaving me with $8,841.66. This is why I ended up budgeting with for March. Here is what my March monthly budget spreadsheet would look like if I didn't have any of my final numbers put in. So we're gonna just wrap up this monthly budget, and so we can move on to April's. The beginning of March, I went in and I added all of my budgeting amounts that I was expecting that month for expenses, and then my bills, which always stay the same, are right down here. And then when it comes to income, expected income and expected savings, I always leave those on zero, especially with my real estate business, because everything, you know, anything can happen. Like a deal can get canceled, or the closing can get extended. You know, so many things can happen. So I always just leave it on 0. I don't track my expenses line by line in here. I do this for my personal budgeting, but not for my real estate business, because for my real estate business, I have QuickBooks, which I go in every week and I categorize all of my expenses, and you know, that's how I do that on a more frequent basis. But I do like to come back here and just add the totals of each categories, and it's very easy because I would just go on my QuickBooks reports and just look at that month's, you know, category totals and then just input them here. And it helps just to track all my numbers all in one place and budgeting. So that's what we're gonna finalize today. So let's start here with income. So for income, I have real estate commissions, of course. So for that, we're gonna put in that $8,000, $841.66. Additional income, this is like sale transfers or anything like that. I didn't have any of that this month, so, or this past month. So we're gonna put 0. For Supra Lockbox, I did deduct these bills. These are like subscriptions. So I did that, perfect. No debt, no investments. So let's go over my expense summary here. So these are my actual like budgeting categories. First one is payroll, which I budget $0, and I just kind of work with whenever I get paid, I pay myself out of that. For contractors, this is like if I'm paying my transaction coordinator out of pocket or not at closing, or any kind of professional services, things like that. Business meals, office supplies, advertising and listings, database marketing, I put 100. Advertising and listings, I put $1,000 because I did have a new listing that month. So, but it ended up being under contract really fast, so we didn't use this entire budget. Closing gift, I put $1,000, which is pretty accurate. For that specific deal in March that I told you about that I closed, that was the closing gift amount. So there's that, and then transportation, which is like gas and anything related to the car I use for work. And then for savings, I always put 0 on all of this. I'm actually gonna delete this. And for these, I just go off of like 10% for most of these, like for taxes, advertising, and innovation. I put 10% towards those of my paycheck after my payroll. And then, yeah, these I just kind of play around with. So let's get started. We put in the income. Let's put in my expenses here. So like I said, I like to go in by categories. So I'll start with payroll, and I paid myself $4,000 last month. I am still figuring out the best way to, you know, like figuring out my amount that I'm gonna pay myself every month and things like that. So bear with me on that, but that's what I paid myself last month. For contractors, so QuickBooks, it's called like legal and professional services. Let's see, I have my report here. I paid $300 for that. And I just leave the dates the same. I'm not gonna, because again, I have QuickBooks. I don't want to go through too much trouble with that. So I always put that there. For transportation, this is like gas and things like that, I spent $220. And then for office supplies, so there's a few categories under this, like office supplies, office expenses. It's all kind of towards the same thing, but I don't know, QuickBooks kind of separated them. So $10 on this one, $129 and $98 towards this. I'll put that under the same category here. And then advertising. Oh yeah, that's what I'm missing. Advertising. So for my new listing, I paid for like the photography and all of that and the initial marketing, and it went into contract pretty fast within like 2 weeks of being on the market, which is amazing, especially in this market. So advertising for that listing was $304, and then the last one I have here is for my closing gift for that property, and that was $900. And it was a really nice closing gift. So there is, yeah, those are all of my totals. So if we go here to my expense summary, you can see that all of my actual expenses totaled just under $6,000, and we have left $2,813.66 to budget with. So now we're gonna put in most of that, if not all of it, towards savings. So I'm gonna take 10% out of, so if we subtract this minus my payroll, I'm gonna take 10% of that and put it towards some of these saving categories. So we'll put $484.17 towards reserves. Same thing with taxes, because oh my God, I was caught off guard last year. Never again. Membership dues, I'm gonna put 150 towards this, which I actually have to pay them next month. So I'm gonna pay myself out of that sinking fund to be able to pay those expenses. Advertising, we're gonna put 10% of that. Business travel, I'm not traveling a lot this year, but I'm still putting something towards it. 484.17. And if you want to learn more about sinking funds, I talked about these on my how I set up my business video, again linked in the description. And so innovation is anything related to like scaling the business, so saving towards like, you know, hiring an assistant, or you know, hiring a specific service to help me like with advertising and getting more business, things like that. So we have left $576.98, and I do kind of like to every dollar budget for my business, so kind of like this left at zero. I don't really do any kind of like rollover or anything like that for budgeting, so I will just put the rest towards reserves. Oh, there we go. Towards reserves, and there we go. Now we have $0 left. So now that the budget is done, typically what I would do next is go over to QuickBooks and make sure that all of the numbers match what's on the spreadsheet. And after all of that is done, I would move on to April's budget and start setting that up and repeat the process all over again. If you found this video helpful, please give this video a thumbs up or comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Be sure to follow me on my social media for more daily content. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.